In the pale light before sunrise, a man steps into his garden and freezes. Tangled in wire-thin netting near the fence is a wild fox, thrashing, bleeding, trapped. What he does in the next 3 hours will change both their lives forever, and what the fox does months later will leave him speechless. The morning was still gray with the last traces of night when the man heard it, a frantic, muffled, struggling sound near the garden fence. He followed it and found her, a reddish-brown fox, caught in a tangle of fine mesh netting. Her body pulled so tight the threads had cut into her skin. Every movement she made only tightened the trap further. She was exhausted, terrified, and running out of time. He knew one wrong move could cost her a limb, or her life, so he moved slowly. He fetched a soft length of rope and a pair of round-tipped scissors, the kind that couldn't accidentally nick her skin. Step by step, he crept closer, half expecting her to bolt, half expecting her to bite. She did neither. Gently, he looped the rope around her head, not to control her, but to keep her still enough that she wouldn't hurt herself further. Then, strand by agonizing strand, he began to cut. It was not quick work. Minute after minute passed. The netting had wound around her legs, her tail, her body, layer over layer, and one wrong cut could tighten a strand instead of loosening it. But through it all, something strange happened. The fox stopped fighting. She simply watched him, her large amber eyes fixed on his face, unblinking, as if she somehow understood that this stranger, despite every instinct telling her to fear him, was trying to save her. 3 hours later, he cut the final strand from around her hind leg. She was free. For a moment, neither of them moved. Then she took a few careful steps back, putting distance between them, glanced over her shoulder just once and vanished into the trees. He assumed that was the end of it, a single act of kindness and nothing more. He was wrong. A few days later, he stepped outside, and there she was again, the same fox, watching him from a distance. Not fleeing, not approaching, just watching, as though she were trying to decide something. 2 days after that, she came back a third time, and this time something had changed. Her wariness had softened. She trotted in loose, playful circles around the yard, her thick tail waving high in the air like a banner. It looked almost like a dance. Slowly, carefully, the man lowered himself to the ground and held out his hand. The fox hesitated. Every wild instinct in her small body must have screamed at her to run, but instead, she stepped forward and touched the tip of her nose to his fingers. It was such a small gesture, and yet it was the beginning of something neither of them could have predicted. Not long after, he found her digging determinedly in a corner of the garden, scraping at the soil with her front paws, as though she were trying to build herself a home right there, watching her. This wild creature choosing of her own free will to stay near him. Something in his chest gave way. He couldn't leave her to wander again, not after what she'd survived. He decided right then that she would live with him. What followed was chaos and joy in equal measure. Inside the house, she claimed his old slippers as her personal property, clamping them in her jaws with fierce determination whenever he tried to take them back. She darted under the sofa and popped out again like a furry cannonball. She discovered above all that his hand was her favorite toy in the world, gently mouthing his fingers, tapping them with her paws over and over, a private language of trust. He built her an enclosure in the garden, sturdy wood, wire mesh, and a thick bed of dry straw. She explored every inch of it, sniffing, testing, learning her new territory. And then, in a moment that made him laugh out loud, she walked straight past her new bed and curled up on the family dog's cushion instead, as if she'd simply decided it was the better spot. He named her Alice. Alice filled the days that followed. She chased leaves across the lawn. She stared at the sky beside the flower beds as if it held secrets. But her favorite place, always, was the big leather sofa, where she'd curl into the corner and watch him quietly for hours. When he ran his fingers through her fur, she'd nip gently at his fingertips in return. A small, wordless exchange that said more than language ever could. But not everything was peaceful. The family dog and Alice circled each other with narrowed eyes, low growls building between them, tension thick enough to cut. More than once, the man had to physically pull them apart, holding a trembling Alice against his chest, soothing her racing heart. He made a choice. He wouldn't force the friendship. He would let it happen, or not, in its own time. Then came the twist nobody saw coming. The first snow of winter fell quietly over the yard, and when the man looked out the window, he stopped in disbelief. Alice and the dog, the same two animals who had been growling at each other for weeks, were racing across the snow together, chasing, tumbling, playing like they'd been friends their entire lives. Every wall between them had simply vanished overnight. Alice rolled onto her back in the snow, paddling all four paws at the sky in pure delight. When the man clapped his hands, she bounded straight for him and leapt into his arms, resting her paws on his shoulder, pressing her cold, wet nose against his cheek. There was no fear left in her at all. None. This was the animal who, months earlier, had been fighting for her life in a net, convinced the world meant her harm. Now, she slept on her back, with her belly exposed, the most vulnerable position a wild animal can choose, because she knew, without a shadow of doubt, that she was safe. The seasons kept turning. Alice grew from a small, uncertain creature into a full-grown fox, her coat thicker, her body sturdier, but her spirit unchanged. She still dug joyfully in the snow, burying her nose in it like she was hunting treasure. She still chased butterflies across the spring lawn with the same reckless joy she'd had as a kid. Every single morning, without fail, she was waiting by the front door before the man even woke, her amber eyes fixed on him as if to say, "Wake up already." And every morning, a fresh trail of small paw prints stretched across the frost by the entrance, a quiet signature, written anew each day. Call her name from anywhere in the garden, and she would come running immediately, tail high, ears forward, utterly unafraid. Sometimes she'd vanish under the house and emerge caked in dirt, shaking herself off in a way that never failed to make him laugh. He kept a small stitched image of a reddish fox displayed in his room, a quiet reminder of that first gray morning by the fence, when a stranger's kindness and a trapped animal's trust had somehow found each other. Alice never forgot what he did for her. She couldn't say thank you in words, but she said it every single morning, in a line of paw prints across the snow, in a nose pressed against his cheek, in a life spent choosing, again and again, to stay. What began as a rescue became something far greater, proof that trust, once earned with patience and gentleness, can turn even the wildest heart into family.